here. So yeah. So
Lisa, are you short enough, tall enough? Okay.
what are you protesting for?
We're protesting the closure of the safe consumption sites. They shouldn't be closing. It's deadly.
So what Ontario government is doing, like shutting down these safe sites, these should not be closed, right?
No, they should not be closed.
So what should be done?
They should keep them open and open more.
So don't you think like we can see like there are more like people are using drugs, like these sites, and some are like some those sites are close to the school or other like places, like so what do you say about those things? Should some sites be near to schools or other institutions or parks?
They could relocate them. They can relocate. Yes.
But there's childcare center that has said that there was a safe consumption site right across the road from them, and they had no problem with it. But close that down, they could have people out on the street, on the sidewalks, overdosing and dying, and then the little children are going to be traumatized, and there's going to be needles laying around. It's not, and then there's going to be more people dying. You don't want that. With the safe consumption sites, it stops a lot of that.
And can you please talk about the images you have on your shirt?
We have our children on our shirts.
Come on up here.
We've lost our children to overdose, to fentanyl, to the poisonous drug supply. And
All different ages, 18,
36.
16.
And what are you expecting from that phone? Like, do you think he's going to listen you? If not, so
Do we think he's what?
he's going to listen you? If not, what are you going to do? What's your next step?
We'll write letters, we'll keep protesting, going to rallies, we'll do whatever it takes to get them to realize what they're doing is a huge mistake. Thousands have been dying. Thousands, literally. Like, what's it going to take for them to realize that this is wrong? They're not doing it the right way.
And did you receive any support from other elected officials, like other politicians in other political parties, such as NDP or Liberals?
Nothing, nobody has given us any support. But I do have the support of our town mayor in St. Mary's. They're very supportive.
Lots of these community services are ran with volunteer power, which is very important. That they're overworked and underappreciated.
And what's your message to Ontario government? And do you think should federal government intervene on this concept? Do you think federal government should intervene on this concern, like open safe injection sites?
I think they should. The federal government step in and
Well, yes,
Need all
definitely.
the support.
They need to be there. Otherwise, many more are going to die, and people are going to get really upset seeing their communities completely fall apart. Seeing people dying in the streets, needles around children. We don't want that. Nobody wants that.
And do you have statistics, like some numbers, how many people have died so far from poor?
In this area, it's 870 plus.
this year.
Here, just in this area.
Just in this area.
Just in this area.
How many?
870 plus. And that's since 2018. And that's the overdoses we know about.
And what's your message to Ontario government and other politicians or elected officials?
Please don't shut these sites down. They're needed. It's necessary. It's important. And they're going to be sorry by doing that because the results are going to be catastrophic. We don't want to see any more families destroyed and go through what we've gone through.
And they have all kinds of safe consumption sites all over the place. They're bars. It's just
British
a different drug.
Columbia.
For alcohol,
Right? Every bar is a safe consumption site
you
for
have
somebody that drinks.
you have legal alcohol that has been processed properly, it's controlled substance, and people drink supposedly responsible, and that's okay. People smoke in areas, it's not good for your health, but people smoke anyways in certain designated areas. People that are using substances shouldn't be left to die.
It's just a different substance.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I use my mic from you? Like my So before we begin, please tell about yourself.
So my name is Sarah Escobar, and I am a resident of the region of Waterloo and have been a resident of the region of Waterloo now for close to 30 years. I've worked and lived here and love this community very much, and are very concerned about the things and the decisions that our government is making that will critically impact and cause harm to the folks that we're trying to work with and service.
And what can you please tell us about what were you protesting for today?
So today, the rally today is mostly in remembrance and primarily in remembrance of the folks that we have lost, the people that we've loved and lost to the drug poison crisis. It is not accidental. They're not accidental deaths because we know that the drug supply is poisoned, and by not doing anything, actively doing anything to reduce people's risk to using poison drug supply, then we're causing harm. We're actively causing harm. And so today we want to be able to remember the people we've loved, that we've lost to that drug supply poisoning, and actively try to work in trying to bring about some changes in policy that will support and hopefully prevent moves like Doug Ford's government is doing right now, which are just basically stripping money out of programs that we know work. The data and the evidence say that it works. And so we want to be able to influence policy so that when the data and the evidence points to a solution and programs that work, then the government needs to follow that. And they cannot just get sidetracked by personal opinion.
But they've just shut down these drug use sites, like they said they are more concerning or dangerous, like maybe killing more people. So how do you respond?
If it's the youth that they're worried about, if we're talking about the childcare centers, one of the speakers today at the rally shared that folks who are losing parents, children are also losing parents to this poison drug crisis. And if we're concerned about youth, then we need to start when they're little. We need to start with that 2-year-old. We need to start when mom is pregnant, when she's not getting prenatal care, when she's living in an abusive relationship and she's stuck, when she doesn't know how she's going to pay for diapers and formula. If we can step in, that child's going to grow up to not think that mom has just been left alone to fend for herself. That 16-year-old is going to grow up to be an angry 16-year-old. Mom struggled. Nobody helped. Why would that person grow up to be a happy, well-adjusted human in our community? Yeah. No love was shown to them. And so if we are concerned about the youth, we need to love them and care for them when they're little. We need to love and care for their mothers and their fathers and their families before they're even born.
And are you receiving any support from any political parties or any elected officials?
There is no formal support. This is a community organized event, and that was done on purpose. We want to be able to show this community cares. There's deep love in this community for everybody, including folks who use drugs. This is real, and so by letting this be organized by community, empowered by community, and it was community that showed up today. It was community that spoke today. That's the message we want to give. This community has a ton of love for people who use drugs. We do not want to just let them die. We love them and we want them to live long enough that if they ever choose any different, that they are alive to do so.
And if Ontario government, if they don't listen you, like it seems like they are not going to change reverse their policies, what they enforce, so what's your next step?
That's a good question. I think we're not going to give up. We're going to. There are processes in our system that we can take. The politicians aren't playing fair, and they're not using said processes and said structures that they've created themselves. And so we are going to continue to just come back and we send the message. People's lives are at stake. For us to just do one rally and then give up on it, that's not going to work. We understand this is not solely a regional government issue, but we are here because we are asking for our elected officials to have the courage to stand up with the rest of the community that showed up tonight and advocate. Listen to us, give us the time, and then go and advocate for what the community is needing and asking for right now. That is what their job as elected officials is to advocate for the community that they're living in and what we are needing and asking for. So we're just going to continue to march on. We are going to continue to be loud voices, and we're going to continue to let love lead us in this, because we are not going to let anger or frustration divide a community. A community that leads with love will win.
Yeah, but do you think any elected officials or maybe they are going to listen you?
There was a petition that had been started today. I don't know if you're going to be able to share that with your social media and your audience. So there's a petition that was shared today in the rally. There's a social media campaign that has been started by the Green Party. We had 3 different government officials, elected officials at the provincial level and federal level speak today in support of community and in support, and they've committed to continue to advocate for the community. And that is that. I mean, what more can we want? So some of these folks showed up. We want the rest of our groups to come and speak up.
And what's your next step? Like anytime soon, are you going to organize another event like that?
Well, if you actually, folks are welcome to go onto the Waterloo Region Drug Action Team website. There are some calls to action. There is information. There's data available so that folks know what it is that they are siding with. This isn't a mystery. We're not trying to hide anything. We want people to know what's happening. We've collected the data. We have the evidence. It's really, really important that this story stays based on that. It has to stay fixed on this. Political agendas, personal opinions, popular opinion may matter in other venues or with other topics, but with this is people's health we're talking about. We need to make sure that the data and the information is correct. And so, I invite anybody and everybody to go and look up some information. It is abundant. It is abundant at a regional level. It is abundant at a provincial level and at a national level.
And would you like to share some data? Like what do you have?
Oh, see, now I have to look that up. No, of course. So in this region right now, we've lost more than 800, and I think we're at 856 of our community members that we've loved and lost since 2018. And so I don't understand. So, and you ask me about the numbers, and so the numbers of folks that have died matters, but does it actually matter if it's 6, if it's 26, if it's 2006? My heart and my brain are not like, why does that matter? One person dying is enough. But yes, the data is there and the evidence is there. The reports are incredible. The fact that there has been over 1,000 overdoses reversed inside of the CTS, our local CTS. That is 1,000 plus folks who have used some of that poison drug supply and have been able to stay alive because they decided to use at the CTS, consumption and treatment centers, right? So they exist and they're working. those are 1,000+ people that will get to make different choices. Again, today, somebody spoke who is in recovery and wouldn't be speaking if it wasn't for, actually, she was the person was on safe supply. Somebody else spoke last Wednesday at Victoria Park, said the same thing. So with that question, sometimes it's just that person's life didn't matter. They're standing in front of us and they're telling us that this program saved their life.
Yep.
They may not be telling us that story if they were not able to choose. These programs are meant to give people the opportunity to choose different when they're ready.
Yep. And what's your message to Ontario government?
Choose people. Choose people. That's the message. Choose people. Listen to the data.
Okay. Thank you so much.